Yes, people, we are back in action. Champions League, Chelsea versus Ajax, 8 p.m. Wednesday night at the Bridge, under the lights. I cannot wait to get into this. There's been a few corkers down the years, most recently the 4-each battle at the Bridge. What a game that was. We'll definitely uncover what happened in that game. And also, we'll go through the players who have actually used to play for Ajax and Chelsea. We've got a few in there. If you can name them all, drop them in the comment section. In this pre-match preview, I'm going to discuss the key points, what I think is going to happen in the game. If you stick around to the end, I'm going to predict my scoreline as well. So stick around if you want to see that. Also, I'm going to go through, I think my starting 11 is going to be, what could happen, what will happen in the game, the key tactical battles, and also, as mentioned, the players who have played for Ajax and Chelsea, both past and previously. But before we get into that, guys, if you're new here, please be sure to give this a like and a subscribe if you want to see this content going forward. If you are new here and you've never seen my page before, it's Freehand Talks Football. I do love to talk about my football, whether it's Champions League, Premier League. Predominantly it will be Chelsea because I am a massive Chelsea fan, even though the accent, don't let that put you off. But I do love to give my reviews, my previews, post-match, pre-match, and also a bit of FIFA, a bit of gaming as well, or FC26 as they're going to call it these days. But please be sure to give us a wee subscribe if you want to see us going forward, and we'll get into this. Last time we played against Ajax, there was 2 games. It was a home and an away. I think we played them away first, and we actually won 1-0. Batshuayi scoring the win on that game. Frank Lampard at the helm. But then the home game, the 4-4 madness. I think we went 3-1 or 4-1 down at one stage, and then we brought it back. We got straight back into it. Kurt Zouma went on that mad mental run all the way through. Could have done one of the best goals in history. Reece James, absolute beautiful, topped it off with his first Champions League goal for the club. And then Dave had that goal chalked off at the end to make it 5-4. What a major comeback that would have been if we could have sold that in the end. But nevertheless, we came back to 4-4, and it just showed back then to now we still have that resilience, that gut drive and determination to get into a game or get back into a game when the chips are against us. Just look at the lineup from that 4-each game. Some past players, some youth academy players coming through the ranks, and obviously today our captain. Look at the captain we had back then. Just look at some of the players, and even both sets of teams there. Ajax as well. You'll see none other than Hakim Ziyech. He actually scored in this game. It might have been actually a free kick, but it got given as an own goal by Kepa. But it was hands down Ziyech's goal. He was an absolute baller back then, and when we got him, I thought he would have took us to greater heights. Yeah, we did win the Champions League with him in the squad, but he was nowhere near the player that he was meant to be for Chelsea. I just don't think he could handle the pace of the Premier League, to be honest. And he is quite a skinny wee guy, so I think also he just couldn't handle the strength of it as well. Good to see Jorginho scoring 2 penalties. Loved the penalty, that boy, didn't he? But also great to see Dave and James on the score sheet as well. James's first goal for the club, as mentioned. First Champions League goal for the club, as mentioned. And Dave just being in the right place at the right time. It is very important that we get another win here against Ajax. That'll be 4 wins in the bounce. 2 in the Champions League as well. Could be a really good pivotal kind of time in the season, especially with the winter coming in soon. It's going to be very, very hard on the boys, on the legs. We're glad that Reece James can now start getting 90 minutes under his belt here and there. Gusto will be suspended for the Premier League game, so I can potentially see him coming in and also giving maybe James a little bit of a breather just because how much football he has played recently. But nevertheless, doesn't matter who goes out onto that pitch, we have to win the game, get back up the league, get in the Champions League. And if we can go 3 games into the Champions League with 2 wins and a loss being the first game, 2 wins and a bounce, that's really going to put us in a strong position to progress. Also, another player who's now with us, who obviously was Ajax as a teenager, still is a teenager now, is none other than Jarell Hato. And it'd be interesting to see if he gets a start, by the way, because Cucurella, again, played a lot of football. He played an international break as well for Spain, 90 minutes. Also just played a really tough game against Forest at 90 minutes as well. So I would not be surprised to see Hato coming into this team, just to give Cucu a little bit of a break, but also for him to prove a point against his old club that he sold. It could really be a kind of defining game for him to kind of come into the Chelsea faithful and see he's ready to play here if he puts in an unbelievable performance against his old club. Ajax like to also play in a 4-2-3-1, which is something we've adopted a lot more recently. I know we like to kind of jink it and change it, especially if it's horses for courses. Sometimes Maresca likes to play with 3 at the back, even though it is technically a 4 on the team sheet rather. He does like to have Gusto bombing forward or Cucurella going into the pockets. So we just don't know kind of how that will pair out in this game. But Ajax like to go with a 4-2-3-1. And up top, they've got the old guard then, Wout Weghorst. Been to the Premier League before Man United, was an absolute donkey. And with fair, he is a bit of a donkey, but he seems to do well in the Dutch league, and he also seems to do well in the international stage. So he's kind of a big threat we kind of need to look out for. So whoever's playing centre-back is going to have their hands tied with him. But not because he's a really he's not really a mobile striker. He's more just a kind of bring the ball into his chest, try and move around, try and look for a bit of space and knock it out wide so he can get the ball into the box for a header. And he is a tall threat, so if we can try and minimise it to as much as winning the ball from as soon as we can and moving forward, because he won't go in behind. So if we can nullify his threat and attack, I can comfortably see us getting a good result in this game. So if we're looking at players that have played on both sides of the coin, obviously right now we've got Jarell Hatter, who we bought for them. Hakim Ziyech being a kind of big one as well, I've mentioned already in this video. He was one of the ones that came from Ajax. The way the Ajax played over the last few years, funnily enough, when they got beat off Tottenham, who gets beat off Tottenham, especially in the Champions League semi-finals. But yeah, that kind of team that came through, they've all scattered around the world now. But Ziyech back then was an unbelievable player. It just did not work out for Chelsea. But then we've got Jesper Gronk here, Chelsea icon. Not a legend, nowhere near legend as the greatest, but he did have that legendary moment when he did score against Liverpool to make it 2-1 for us to qualify to go to the Champions League, which also probably made Roman Abramovich come and buy Chelsea. So I'm not going to call him a legend, but I'll call him an icon who had a legendary moment. Also, Winston Bogarde, I think he only ever played 4 games for Chelsea. Not really, I don't think anyone in the younger generation will remember him. But anyway, he's from the younger generation, will not know him. So he was a 90s player. I think he played for Barca for a few years. Then he went to the Bridge for a couple of, I don't know if he was there for a few years or not, but he never played, never ever got a game. Then Mario Melchiot, of course, is a cult hero for Chelsea. Again, not that legendary status. The word legend gets chucked out far too much. Not a legend in the slightest for Chelsea. But he did have a solid Chelsea career right back for a few years. And he played 1 year in the Abramovich era as well. Left the year but we won the league, so he came second under Ranieri. Very good, solid player for Chelsea in Holland. And also, I think Brian Laudrup might have played for both sides of the coin as well. I know he obviously definitely played for Chelsea. I always remember the goal scoring against Blackburn, 1997. Tori Andrew Flo scored a couple as well. And the last one I'm thinking of, I think it's Bertrand Traore. Came through Ajax, moved to Chelsea. And when he was at Chelsea, had that one season, he kind of got a few games in the FA Cup, done really well. I thought it was going to maybe prosper into a kind of good relationship with Chelsea, but this never really seemed to get the rub of the green and actually stay with us. And he's bounced around a few clubs here and there. I think he's at Sunderland now as well. We were playing at the weekend. That'll be a good one to bring up. Maybe a good bit of history there. I was always sure Ruud Gullit played for Ajax, but I think he was a PSV legend, wasn't he? Obviously Chelsea icon as well, but yeah, Ballon d'Or winner. I always thought he might have had a stint at Ajax, but obviously mistaken. Anyway, now on to I think my starting 11 is going to be for this game in the Champions League against Ajax. Kind of torn a little bit here. One of the ones you want to kind of keep a winning system, but at the same time you want to give people rest where needs be, and also you need to think horses for courses. We've got Gusto, who's been suspended for the next Premier League game. James is obviously going to play. James is deserved to play regardless, but I think this could be a time where maybe give James a little bit of a breather just so Gusto can play this Champions League game, and then he's not in the next game regardless. Here we go. I'm going to go in goals. Rob Sanchez doesn't lose his spot. He's becoming even better game by game. He's actually becoming a leader, which is what we need. He's getting to that kind of years of his age where he's going to slowly hit his prime soon. If we can get him up to scratch into the keeper that the fans actually want him to be at a level not to get scrutinised and get sold, I'm more than happy with Big Bob staying in goal. Back 4, I'm going to go Reece James, right back. Yeah, Reece James, I'm going to put him in again. He seems like he's kind of over these injury problems, touch wood. I think he's ready to stay. So I'd definitely give him at least 60 minutes, see how he goes. Centre-backs, don't change the winning system. Let them play again. Josh Achimpong and Trevor Chalobah, keep them 2 playing again. Bring on Fofana if need be, bring on Tosin if need be, but I'd get them 2 playing again. Just keep that winning formula going. And my left back, I'm actually going to play Hatto from the start. I usually would always play Cucurella, but he's played a lot of football recently. Give Hatto his game. Even give him, if he plays first 60 minutes and he's not playing too great, Cucurella can come on for that second part. But definitely give Hatto the game in this one, give him the start. My 2 holding, Malo Gusto is playing there again. 3 games out of 3, he's done really well in the 2 games. I know he got the red card, but if it wasn't for the red card, he was putting in an easy 8 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 performance again there. So Malo Gusto is going to play there for me with Lavia again from the start. I think Lavia can play again. He came off at half time, so he's building up the minutes. Give Caicedo a bit of a breather again. He's obviously got a bit of an injury. He's carrying. He came on for the second half. He done really well. Game changed in our favour, but I wouldn't have to risk him in this one. I'd bring Caicedo on after 55, 60 minutes if Lavia's flagging. That would be what I would do. So definitely them 2 are going to be my double pivot. My attacking 3 behind the striker, I'm going to go Estevao. Get him some minutes. Get him starting. He's ready. He's ready to go. My attacking midfielder is going to be João Pedro this time. João Pedro number 10. Obviously, Guillou changed the game when he came on. Like João Pedro going to kind of hold into that attacking mid role and kind of dictate the play. plays a lot better there. He needs someone a bit in front of him and needs someone behind him, which he has. So I definitely think that's a good option. And my left winger, I'm going to go for Pedro Neto. And no hints there, the forward is going to be Mark Guiu. Came on, done a really good job. He's a fast track bully. He's a bit of a Costa regen. Doesn't have the finishing ability of Costa just yet, but he does have the tactical awareness. He has the power. He has the desire and the grit and the determination. So get him from the start. Let João Pedro play number 10. So that's my lineup, who I think should be the starting 11 in this team. Let me know in the comments who you think should be starting. If you think anyone should be a different player from there, or if you just think in general we should keep the same lineup, go for it and try and get the win, get a bit of consistency in the legs of these players. Just as long as we win, I don't really care, to be honest, as long as the job gets done. Players aren't getting red carded stupidly, and players are also staying on for 90 minutes and not getting injured. That's all that matters. We just want Chelsea to win, and we want Maresca to do well. That's all I really care. That's all I care about anyway. I don't know about yours, but I just want us to see us getting back to the glory days. Scoreline for this one, people. I think we're going to go out there quite comfortably, and I think we're going to win 3-0. That's it. 3-0. Easy, done. 3-0. I don't really see them scoring unless we make a mistake. The way we played the other day proves that we can go up, keep clean sheets, even though we was hanging on a little bit there and there. They have a better striker playing, they probably would have scored for us, but they didn't. In a day, no one looks at the history books and says, oh, that's what happened in this game. That doesn't matter. What we'll say was Chelsea won 3-0. I can see it happening again midweek. Can get off to a flyer. We get 2 goals in the first half, let the game calm down, make some subs, get some players some rest, get other players some minutes in their legs, go and win the game 3-0. So that's my predictions and my scoreline for the game, people. Hopefully we do get off to a flyer. Hopefully we just win the game comfortably, no injuries, no red cards, and we see this through smooth and plain sailing. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate all the support. So be sure if you like my content, you want to see more of me going forward, talking about Chelsea, over the Champions League, Premier League, pre-post previews and pre-match previews, give it a little subscribe, please, on the buttons below. And as always, come on the Chelsea. See you in the next one.